I'm going to be talking about your natal chart overview, and first thing I'm going to get at is your sun, moon, and ascendant combination. With a Leo sun, your basic character may be one that is very generous and magnanimous. With a Pisces moon, you may express this generosity to people that are less fortunate than yourself, such as the homeless, impoverished, oppressed, and hungry. And with the Sagittarius ascendant, this may be flavored with exuberance, enthusiasm, and benevolence. The Leo Sun Pisces Moon combo can also manifest in expressing creativity in abstract art or fantasy artwork. Now, the Sagittarius ascendant can flavor this with much enthusiasm. Next, I'm going to give your chart a pictorial look. Now, you have an even distribution of planets on the top and bottom half of your chart. This indicates you likely vacillate between extroversion and introversion, being objective versus being subjective, and optimism versus pessimism. You may desire a public life, but you may generally find time to have a private one as well. This could give a good balance and equilibrium of having both a public and a private life. Now, most of your planets fall on the right half of the chart. Now, this suggests you may be more dependent on others as opposed to being independent. You may prefer to collaborate with others on projects and endeavors as opposed to doing them by yourself. This doesn't mean you can't do anything by yourself. It certainly doesn't mean you're incapable of doing things on your own, but it may simply mean that you prefer to do things with other people. And with 4 planets on the left side of the chart, I'm sure you're more than capable of doing things on your own when necessary. The majority of your planets fall in the 3rd quadrant, which consists of houses 7, 8, and 9. This indicates there may be much focus on your relationships, including important friendships and intimate connections, and also expanding upon them. You may have more interaction with foreigners than most people do. And there may be much involvement in partnerships and shared resources scenarios, which can include business partnerships. Next thing I'm going to talk about, the majority of your major astrological influences fall in mutable signs, and this indicates you likely make most of the compromises in your relationships. You may be someone that is very adaptable, pliable, easygoing, and you may have an uncanny ability to make the best out of adverse situations. However, though, on the negative side, you may be someone that is vacillating, unreliable, changeable, ambivalent, and worrisome. There may be many changes of mind. You may be easily influenced by others, and you may be too quick to compromise and agree with others, and you may also lack persistence and follow through. Now, the next thing I'm going to get at in your chart overview is the now most of your major astrological influences are in fire signs, and this can give much enthusiasm, exuberance, passion, vivaciousness, and drive. You generally have the desire to do things without needing external motivation from others. You may possess much leadership prowess and ability. You may put your heart in many projects and endeavors. However, again, on the negative side, you may be exceptionally blunt and outspoken and even tactless. You may be easily angered and provoked, and you may be very impetuous and impulsive. Now, the next thing 4 of your major astrological influences fall in earth signs. Now, this suggests you may be someone that is very practical, pragmatic, prudent, economical, dependable, and industrious. And you may be very premeditative and have very good planning ability. You may possess very good financial acumen, and you may be able to formulate plans to make money. The dominant earth influence may modify some of the impulsiveness which is connected with your fire energy. And however, though, again, on the negative side, you may be overly predictable, sometimes even seen as monotonous, and you may lack spontaneity. The next thing is that what I want to state is you don't equate to a final signature because there was a tie between the fire and earth element in your major astrological influences. You can't have 2 chart signatures. There can only be one final or chart signature in a chart. Now the next thing I'm going to get, let's talk about your chart ruler, which is the ruler of your first house, and that is Jupiter in Capricorn. And that falls in the 2nd house in your chart. Now this is the area or sector of life in which you bring much of your Sagittarius rising energy into. You may bring much of that jovial, jocular, exuberant, expansive, and optimistic Sagittarius rising energy into matters associated with money, possessions, resources, values, self-worth, and latent talent and abilities, I should say talents and abilities. With the ruler Jupiter being in Capricorn, well, this may be flavored with ambition, seriousness, consistency, responsibility, and premeditation. And having Capricorn on the 2nd house cusp and 2 planets in Capricorn in that house, that could indicate a strong emphasis on doing something Capricorn related to make money, which can include work associated with the government, politics, accounting, business, dentistry, masonry, or information technology. Now you have Pluto conjunct your ascendant in your chart, and you may come across as more imposing, even willful and resourceful than the typical Sagittarius rising. You may have a very secretive side to you. You may bring much passion, desire, and emotional intensity in Sagittarius new beginnings, which can include something associated with sports, publishing, advertising, adventure, religion, or college teaching. And this aspect may indicate surgery at some point on the physical body, with the conjunction being in Sagittarius. Surgery may be associated with the hips, sciatic nerve, or liver. And there may be physical related issues associated with the colon, prostate, bladder, urinary tract, or reproductive system, because that's what Pluto governs. And even if you don't have surgery at some point in time over the body parts I was talking about associated with Sagittarius, there may be greater propensity for trauma associated with those parts, because Pluto is connected with trauma. So you may experience some kind of trauma connected with the liver, a sciatic nerve, or hips. What I want to make a note of is that I didn't delineate any stelliums in your chart because you didn't have anything that met that criteria. A stellium is a series of conjunctions that involve and consist of at least 3 planets, and you did not have any in your chart. That is why I interpreted that conjunction, Pluto conjunct your ascendant, in your chart instead. So anyway, well, I hope you are satisfied. with your natal chart overview. And that is it.